This Thursday, March 7th, NBA Betting Picks edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 states. Head to cut.com, that's Kutt.com, and use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pick'em for a chance to win 100x in NBA, NHL, college basketball, and more. Sign up today using promo code SGPN, NBA SGPN, to get a 100% deposit match. And we're also brought to you by Champs. Run your own March Madness pool and enter Champs free bracket contest for a chance to win $1,000. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/champs to enter today. And we're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Thursday, March the 7th. Currently 11:06 on the East Coast. Here to get into our NBA betting picks for the Thursday night card. And we'll recap what we saw yesterday in the association as well. But joining me here on this Thursday episode, you guys know him as the villain. He's a superstar of the show. It's Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell, what's going on, my man? How you doing this Thursday morning?
I'm great. It's always a great after you sweep the day before. It's always a great morning after you sweep the day before. Feels good. Memphis came through for us in the clutch. Both games actually I was on that Kings game kind of heavy too. I didn't end up locking that one, but I was on the Kings game heavy. But Memphis came back, got a win. Kings come back, get a win. Jared Allen does typical Jared Allen things without Evan Mobley. I mean, it's a great time.
Yeah, I had a pretty good day yesterday as well. I know we've been pretty hot since the All-Star break on the pod between yourself, Scott, and myself. So hopefully we can continue rolling, get into the Thursday night card here. Another pretty good schedule of games here on Thursday night. Get some NBA news here that we got this morning concerning some injury stuff. But anything you want to touch on from last night's card that stood out to you as far as how the games turned out?
I mean, Dame, Afro Man cashed a ladder for us. We got the rebounds ladder. We got the Dame 3 ladder last night. Typical bounce back spot for the Warriors, getting destroyed on national television, then going out and destroying the Milwaukee Bucks. Nothing really out of the ordinary. Just Houston ended up getting the cover, so I won't say that I won't trust Houston ever again, but Houston probably should have won that game.
Yeah, I think I was watching the game. I think just tired legs kind of caught up to them last night. I know they were on the second leg of a back-to-back. I know it was home and home. But Clippers, they're a little bit more desperate coming out of that second half. After especially, what we've talked about, they've been struggling since the All-Star break. They were playing with some type of, desperation to get a victory there. I know Paul George in the first half didn't have a great first half, came out in the second half, had a pretty good game. Same thing with Kawhi. Harden as well in that fourth quarter stepped it up as well. Şengün had another monster game yesterday, man. I mean, this was like Nikola Jokic-esque last night. After coming off, the 45-point performance he had against the San Antonio Spurs in his triple-double last night. 23 points, 19 rebounds, and 14 assists for Şengün. So, I think the offense now is going to go, or should be going through Alperen and Şengün. But, yeah, turned out to be barely a cover for the Rockets last night. But other than that, you mentioned it. Good bounce back for the Warriors last night. OKC went into Portland, didn't get the cover, but they did get the victory. And then Sacramento just has the Lakers number. They got the 130-120 victory last night, led by De'Aaron Fox, who finished the game with 44 points, 19 of 32 from the floor. Sabonis put in another triple-double, 16 points, 20 rebounds, and 12 assists last night for Domantas Sabonis. So we got some news this morning, some injury news. One, Ben Simmons. I guess not a total shock for people that he's going to be missing the rest of the season, just how his career's kind of been transpiring over the past several seasons. But I think the bigger news is from the Minnesota Timberwolves with Karl Anthony Towns. Excuse me. He is going to be missing some significant down in sideline indefinitely, which is now been classified officially as a torn meniscus for Karl Anthony Towns. And I mean, at this juncture of the season, it's really tough to see those type of injuries, for those type of players, especially for the Minnesota Timberwolves, who's they're having a really great season, right? They're in contention, or were in contention, I should say, for the number one spot number one seed in the Western Conference. They're tied with the OKC Thunder, but just brutal news for Karl Anthony Towns, who's also been dealing with injuries. I know he missed a lot of the last season as well, but now with a torn meniscus, he's going to be sidelined indefinitely. We'll see if he can make it back for the playoffs. At this juncture, it's going to be very, very difficult, but just sucks for the Minnesota Timberwolves, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I think he's been I saw something saying he's been taking the past 24 hours trying to get another opinion and something like that. But as it looks, the T-Wolves probably should take a little bit of a slide. We'll see. Anthony Edwards, they're 2-0 without Cat this season, and Anthony Edwards had 34 points in both games. And so it could be a situation where Anthony Edwards can go ahead and try to am I on the wrong mic? I have to check that.
Yeah, try to get
Let me see. But yeah. Wow, holy crap. Dang, nobody told me that. Is that better? That's gotta be better.
Ooh, damn, ooh.
Test.
Much better.
I ain't know I was on the wrong mic. Ain't nobody tell me. Thank you. At least somebody's loyal. Man, I'm over here recording on the freaking MacBook Air mic, and I got a whole $200 microphone sitting right here. Like, oh man, appreciate it. Cool. All right. Yeah, dang, it was going on yesterday too. Ain't nobody say nothing. Ain't nobody. Y'all, people is not loyal. Y'all supposed to tell me that. All right. I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, Anthony Edwards carrying his team.
Edwards, yeah.
Yeah, he can. I think he can, and I think it's a possibility, especially if they play really good defense. We'll see how they look tonight going forward. I mean, they're going to have a pretty solid chance playing this Indiana Pacers team. So we'll see if the defense is still going to be there. We'll see if they'll be able to muster some offense, but that's my concern right now. Are they going to be able to muster enough offense? Because I know Ant can do it, but where else are they going to get this scoring from?
Yeah, I think it might just turn into Naz Reid season for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I know he's been doing a fantastic job in the backup role coming off of the bench for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So it'll be interesting to see who Chris Finch puts into that starting lineup and what his rotation is going to look like without Karl Anthony Towns for the foreseeable future. But again, if you are a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, it just kind of, it sucks at this juncture of the season that, one of your better players has gone down with an injury here in about March as we head to the playoffs, the NBA season. Anything else that stuck out to you before we get into the games?
No, I'm good. I think isn't anything. I don't know. It was some good basketball last night.
Nothing. I was trying to. I mean, that was the biggest news that came out this morning was about Karl Anthony Towns. But everything else last night, I mean, we've been doing pretty good on the pod with our picks and Lock and Dog and Underdog Fantasy injuries. So hopefully we can continue that here on the Thursday night card that features we've got 7 games here tonight on a Thursday night. So before we get into it, Terrell, let me remind everyone about our friends over at Cut. Cut gives you the opportunity. It's a peer-to-peer betting social network. That's what it is. And it gives you the opportunity to bet with your friends or other users. They're US-based. They're available in 40 states. And like I mentioned, you can bet directly against your friends or other users on sports, politics, pop culture, and other events with verifiable outcomes. Tons of fun social features that give it a feel of a betting social network. Cut offers lower vig and fully customizable odds, and you can create your own bets. Cut handles the payment side of things, so you never have to chase anyone down for money. Social features include group chats, betting leaderboards, head-to-head history, user profiles, fan groups, and much more. They also have a rewards program. Get cash back on every single time you bet against your friends or other users. Download Cut today in the App Store or over at cut.com. That's KUTT, and use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. And we're also brought to you by our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. You can play their pick'em game. Pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in this week's games for a chance to win big. You can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. You can also make rival picks, which picks 2 players against each other. Stay tuned at the end of the episode. Terrell and I will put together our Underdog Fantasy entry here for the Thursday night card. And you sign up today using our promo code NBASGPN and get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as an instant pick'em special. Again, visit UnderdogFantasy.com, find them in the App Store, and don't forget to register with our code NBASGPN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as an instant pick'em special. Must be 18 years or older and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right, let's get into it here for tonight, Terrell. The first game on the board, like I mentioned, the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are headed to Indiana to take on the Pacers. Pacers coming off of the victory against the Dallas Mavericks. They head back home here to host the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Pacers currently sitting as a 1.5-point favorite in this game with a total of 227. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams. Let's start here with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jalen Clark continues to be out. Jordan McLaughlin is questionable here today with an illness. And we just talked about Karl Anthony Towns, who will be sidelined with the meniscus injury. For the Indiana Pacers, Benedict Mathurin is going to be out for this game. He is dealing with a right shoulder sprain. Doug McBuckets is also out for this game here as well. So some injury concerns for both of these teams here, Terrell. But Indiana laying at 1.5 here against the Minnesota Timberwolves. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that this is just a bad spot for the Pacers in the fact of, you got the star player goes down, everybody stands up narrative, but it's also the fact that the Indiana Pacers absolutely played zero defense. Like they do not defend. You look at them in the last 5 games and they're giving up 122 points per game. Only teams worse for them than them in the last 5 games are the Toronto Raptors, Washington Wizards, and the Dallas Mavericks. That's it. End of the list.
Yeah.
Nobody else is worse than them other than them. So even though I have concerns, and that's really, really my major concern with the Timberwolves is I don't know where the scoring is coming from, especially with Cat out now for the foreseeable future. I don't know where the scoring is coming from outside of Anthony Edwards. I don't know who consistently they go out there and they sign TJ Warren. So we'll see what the TJ Warren minutes look like. We know that he's going to give them something offensively, but absolutely nothing defensively. So we'll see how much they commit to him on that note. Probably about 10 minutes, maybe 11 minutes per game. I'm just gonna fade. I'm gonna fade that this goes over. I'm going to say that the Timberwolves play a lot of good defense here and just do enough. It's going to be one of those ugly, ugly games. Maybe, 105 to like 100, something like that. Like, I think it's going to be a little bit of an uglier of a game. This T-Wolves team gets up defensively on the road, holds the Pacers, and gets themselves a win. So I'm rolling with the T-Wolves here. And Karl Anthony Town, get up game.
Yeah, I think that number one, you mentioned, the team that rallies, after a star player does go down. Also, the fact the Pacers are coming off of a 3-game road trip here, and that first game back, I think I talked about this with either you or Scott earlier this week. That first game back, it's always a tough one. And I know it's only was 3 games for this Pacers team, but also you look at the fact that T-Wolves have one more day of advantage rest in this game, right? So a team that's coming off of that 3-game road trip, your opponent has one more day of advantage, rest advantage, and then also, like you mentioned, the Karl Anthony Towns situation here in a get up spot here for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I like the Wolves here catching the 1.5. I'm probably looking at the Wolves team total to go over in this game. I think that again, like you mentioned, we'll find out who's going to do or fill in as far as the scoring goes for Karl Anthony Towns, whether it is Nas Reed or in a combination of guys coming
Mm-hmm.
off of the bench for this Timberwolves team. But I think they'll be okay. And I think Chris Finch will figure it out here. But again, like you mentioned, I think Anthony Edwards has a huge game here tonight for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I'll look at the Wolves team total to go over in this game. Getting over to the player props. You mentioned Anthony Edwards. His points prop right now is sitting at, let's see here, 30.5. I mean, I would not be surprised, Terrell, if Anthony Edwards goes out and scores 40 here tonight,
He
especially
averages
against
30,
go ahead.
34.
Yeah. Without Karl Anthony Towns, and now you're going up against Indiana Pacers defense, who they like to push the pace. I think it's a good spot here for Anthony Edwards. If you want to ladder him up, I'm going to mention this again. Rudy Gobert rebounds. It's at 14.5. I get it. But it'll be interesting to see if they're going to be pulling him away from the basket, whether it's like Miles Turner that likes to get up the threes, and how he's kind of utilized in this game. It's at 14.5. I get it. But outside of those two, those were I was looking at. Do you have anything else as far as player props?
Is this made more Kyle Anderson minutes?
It's either going to be Kyle Anderson or Nas Reed.
I think it's going to be Kyle Anderson. If it's more,
Yeah.
if you're guaranteeing more Kyle Anderson minutes, then his prop's not listed now. But I could get down on Kyle Anderson PRA in that sort. We know when the injuries started to pile up for them, there was a point where Kyle Anderson was getting significant minutes and doing everything for the team, facilitating offense, rebounding, a little bit of scoring, cutting to the basket when he needs to. So Kyle Anderson is somebody I'd be targeting a little later in the day when his props drop.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Cat's only missed 2 games thus far this season, so we don't have a whole bunch of data to see on who is really stepping up outside of Anthony Edwards in the scoring department. I will also mention this going back to Rudy Gobert. Without in those 2 games without Cat this season, he's played 39 minutes in each of those 2 games, 21 points, 17 rebounds, and then 13 points, 17 rebounds. So he's had 17 rebounds in each of the 2 games without Karl Anthony Towns this season for the Minnesota Timberwolves. You got anything else for this game?
What's Rudy at? 14.5 on the rebounds tonight.
14.5.
So he didn't finish one game, the last game against the Pacers on, what was this, in December. He only played 25 minutes, 5.7 rebounds. But look at before that, 31 minutes, 16 points, 21 rebounds, 32 minutes, 21 points, 16 rebounds in 2 previous games against Indiana. So he's gotten over this prop in 2 previous games against Indiana with the Timberwolves, and he's gone over this prop in 2 games without Karl Anthony Towns. It just kind of like, I know we have the issues with Rudy. I know we do. I know we do. And honestly, truly, I'm willing to get back on board for a day. I'm willing to get back on board for a day because it's just 1 + 1 = 2 here. And it's saying that even though Rudy is at 14.5 on the rebounds today, we should be playing it because he's going to get 16, 17 rebounds against this team. Yeah. So if Rudy doesn't hit, this is proof. This right here, timestamp at 9:20 on the live. This is proof that Rudy Gobert does not fuck with the NBA Gambling Podcast if he doesn't hit today, because 1 + 1 = 2 here. You got to be playing Rudy tonight.
Casey mentioning a trend for this game since 2019. T-Wolves games total overs after their previous game went under, and they're on the road like they are here tonight. 56, 28, and 1 towards the over. So previous game went under the total and on the road. 56, 28, and 1 towards the over in those games. You have anything else for this game?
Yeah. All right. I like it. It's Indiana, not Indiana, but Memphis, not Memphis. Man, I'm saying everybody but the team I want to say. Can we talk? Get it together. All right. Wolves team total over.
Yeah. I think that might be
that's what Wolves team total over, Rudy over 14.5 rebounds. That's probably the 2 things that I would play in this game.
All right, let's get over to the next game of the night. We got the Brooklyn Nets. They are in the Motor City here tonight to take on the Pistons. Nets are laying 2 points in this game on the road here with a total of 216. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Brooklyn Nets, no Cam Johnson. Day'Ron Sharp is questionable. We talked about Ben Simmons. He's done for the rest of the year. Cam Thomas is also out. And Lonnie Walker the fourth is questionable here. So Ben Simmons, Cam Johnson out, Cam Thomas out, questionable on Day'Ron Sharp and Lonnie Walker. For the Detroit Pistons, pretty clean injury report. Only player that will be out that's in their rotation will be Quentin Grimes. He is dealing with a right knee injury maintenance. Nets here laying 2 points on the road against the Pistons here. Terrell, what are you thinking?
Pistons quietly been playing better defensively. My Wizards' fewest wins on the season bet, it really depends on the Pistons getting this win today and getting the wins whenever they can. And it seems like this Brooklyn team is a great opportunity. But man, why do I feel like whenever we get a line like this and it seems like the Pistons can win this game, it's just not even close. Like they don't win. How many times do we cover this? Like how many times do they win this game when they're laying a short number?
Let me see if I can find that for the Nets.
I mean, I don't know how many times the Pistons go out here and continue. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna take the Nets. I'm gonna take the Nets, and if the Nets win, it just proves my point of the Pistons constantly lose this spot that teams that everybody assumes they're going to win because people are on the Pistons today. Like people are betting the Pistons today. And I understand.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about it. This Brooklyn team just coming off of a win against Philly didn't look that good in the win. It was just more Philly looked worse. This team's really not that good. The Pistons, if they have a chance to beat anybody, it is the Nets. But who says they're going to actually win the game? I would love for Detroit to win this game because I would feel more better and better and better about my Wizards' worst season bet. But I don't trust them. They're not good. They fold in the second half of games. Sometimes not even in it by the time they even get there. Like I have to go with the Nets.
So the Nets this season, as an away favorite, I'll start there. 3-3 straight up, 2-4 against the spread, and 4-2 towards the under. I think if you like the Pistons, you probably want to bet it like in the first quarter or first half, because like you mentioned, like they'll fold in the second half. And they just can't find ways to close games. And I think that for this Nets team, I just can't figure them out. I mean, there's games where they look like they can win some games, but then there's games where like they had against the Atlanta Hawks, where I mean they lost both of those games, and then they won both of those games, and they lost to the Grizzlies, and then they go out and beat the Sixers. I know that was without Tyrese Maxey as well, but excuse me, this is the start of a 4-game road trip here for the 5-game road trip here for the Brooklyn Nets, but yeah, I'll if I'm betting Pistons, it's going to be early. It's either first quarter or first half, but Nets full game for me. There are some, like we mentioned, the injury concerns for the Brooklyn Nets, where they are missing both Thomases, and Day'Ron Sharp is questionable here tonight. But yeah, Nets full game, and then I'll look at the Pistons early in this game. Total, Terrell, 216.5 in this game. Any thoughts on the total?
I'm gonna go under. This Nets team been playing better defense when you start to look at it, and especially the points per game metric. I mean, gave up 110 to Miami. I mean, you're not really too upset with a 110, 113, another 110 to Cleveland, 95 to Chicago, 113. Like they're not just letting teams run the score up on them. I'm sorry, 118 to Miami, but they're not really just letting teams run the score up on them. I think that this is a pretty low scoring game, slow paced game. I don't think either of these teams are really trying to run up and down the court on each other. And it just kind of looks ugly. And it's similar to that Philly and Brooklyn game where low scoring total. So, yeah, I think that under 216 it is. Yeah, I'll go under 216. Yeah. I think close to 100 points, maybe 105, 107 probably wins this game.
Yeah, the Nets after the All-Star break 5-3 towards the under. Their last 2 games have gone over. I mean, but their final scores are averaging 206 points per game since the All-Star break. So defense has definitely tightened up, and they're also playing at a slower pace as well. Are the Brooklyn Nets here? So yeah, I'm with you on the under here as well. Player props, anything you're looking at?
Uh, well, real quick, what was that, Casey? Road favorites who won their previous home game as a dog and went over the points total, and playing an opponent who is at home and who lost their previous road game 67, 37, and 2 ATS since 2021. So road favorites that won their previous home game as a dog went over the points total, and then on the road playing a team who was at home who lost their previous road game. I don't know how to translate that one, but just know
So
it makes
he's
sense.
saying, so the Nets, who are favored in this game, and they won their previous game as a home underdog, and the game went over the total, and now they're playing a team in the Pistons who's at home, and they lost their previous road game to the Pistons. That's the situation that it is, and then that translates to 67, 37, and 2 since 2021, which says Nets against the spread here.
You know that GIF where it's from Hangover and the dude's
Yeah, where
counting
he's
cards and he's got
yeah.
the that's what I'm
Yeah.
sitting here. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, all right, all right. That's a tough one. That was a tough one, but it supports Nets. Yeah, I think everybody's playing the Pistons today because it's like, oh, a short number. The Pistons finally have a team that they might be competitive against to get a win, and they don't.
Player props, anything you like?
Is that not how you say it?
GIF. Some people say
GIF.
GIF, some people say GIF.
Whatever. Who cares?
Tomato.
They knew what I was talking about, though.
Golly, grammar police up on here, man. Or pronunciation police, I should say.
Pronunciation police is crazy. Oh man. All right. Where we at? So player props. I don't know. I kind of think it's an under game. So I kind of lean to the rebounds. Duran, Claxton probably gonna have some battles down low. Might need to consider Eamon Thompson in there too. And just another rebounder for the Pistons that can probably affect the game.
What's George Thompson, you mean?
When I say Eamon.
Yeah. Eamon's my guy.
Oh yeah, that's your guy. My bad. My bad. Don't just didn't mean to disrespect. My fault. My fault. Didn't mean to disrespect. Yeah, I think I'm not really much on the player props on this one.
I like your call about Jalen Duren. I think he has a big rebounding game here tonight, especially if we do like the under. Last game against the Nets back in December, he did have, I think it was 17 rebounds, so what I just saw. 15 rebounds. So he had 12 points, 15 rebounds in that game. I mean, he can be a monster on the boards. I mean, if you want to shorten that down and just play his double-double, it's at minus 130 now, is what I'm seeing. I don't hate that for Jalen Duren here. Minus 120 on DraftKings right now if you want to get on that for Jalen Duren here tonight. What else?
What is Eamon Thompson steals? Steals is at minus 110 over 1.5. Yeah. I might consider that. I wonder what is steals and blocks if I can get plus money on steals and blocks. Because you look at the last 5 games, and he has 2 blocks, no steals in the last game. 1 block, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 5 steals, 1 block, no steals, 3 steals, 0 blocks. So he's been into 3 blocks and steals comfortably in 3 of the last 5. I think that if you can find that prop at plus money, that's a pretty solid prop. But I also like the steals at over 1.5 because again, I think it's going to be an ugly game. I think defense is going to prevail, and Eamon's going to get the opportunity. Not Eamon, golly, I can't even talk today. Today is not the day. Asar, I think he's Asar. I think he's going to have the opportunity today, especially Bridges. All the ball handlers for the Brooklyn Nets. I think that he's going to be able, both cams, I think he's going to have opportunity. They're going to challenge him defensively.
It's at 2.5 for his steals and blocks at minus 120. So I think the market.
They're caught up on him. I thought you could get some plus money.
Yeah. Anything else for this game?
Let's move on.
All right, before we get over to the next game on the board here, let me tell everyone about our friends over at Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NBA season with Hall of Fame Bets, a sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NBA and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting on dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right, Terrell, let's keep it rolling here, my man. Next game on the board here, we've got the Miami Heat. They are in Dallas here tonight to take on the Mavericks. Mavericks laying 4.5 points in this game with a total of 229.5. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Miami Heat, no Tyler Hero, no Kevin Love, and no Josh Richardson. Caleb Martin is available. For the Mavericks, Luka is probable, Maxi Kleba is probable, and Derek Lively the second is available to play in this game. So pretty healthy squad for the Dallas Mavericks. Miami will be without Tyler Hero and Kevin Love in this game. Dallas laying 4.5 here, Terrell, against the Miami Heat. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy for me. You see the plus sign by the Miami Heat. It's not really anything to consider here. I'm taking the Miami Heat plus the points. Sprinkle on the money line. They get it done as a road dog. This is the spot we take Miami. We back them as a dog, fade them as a favorite. And we have also, I mean, we talk about the Miami being a home favorite and how that trend has stood the test of time. And it really has. It really, really has. But somebody who is just as bad is the Dallas Mavericks. Since 2021, 49, 64, and 4 as a home favorite. That is 43.4%. You are losing money if you continue to straight up just back the Dallas Mavericks at home as a home favorite. So you kind of get it. You kind of get the opportunity where you can fade Dallas and back the Miami Heat in a situation. It was really nothing. Like there's really nothing else I really need to look at here. The Miami Heat plus 4.5. Sprinkle on the money line. They're going to get it done today.
Yeah. A trend here, at least for this season, for the Dallas Mavericks. If they're at home, it's pretty simple. Non-conference game at home, 2-10 against the spread in those spots. 2-10 against the spread. If they're favored in those spots against non-conference opponents, 1-8 against the spread. So not doing very well against Eastern Conference teams. And you take a look at, we talked about it all week, how bad this defense has been since coming out of the All-Star break. And until I see this team start playing any type of defense, I can't, I can't back them. So I'll take the Miami Heat here with you plus the 4.5. Pretty simple there.
And people are going to be looking at the last two games too. They're going to be looking at the last two games. You was at home. You had a close game against Detroit. Had a close game against Utah. I think people are taking Dallas today, and so I don't know if that's the right play. This team gets up on the road.
Miami Heat in non-conference games on the road, 8-4 against the spread. They also are 10-2 to the under if they're an away dog in non-conference games. 7-1 towards the under. So keep that in mind here for the total. But all over the Heat on the spread here, plus the 4.5. Total 229.5. Here at Terrell, what are you thinking?
I'm trying to decide. Do I like a Heat team total over or a Dallas team total under? The Heat been playing really, really solid defense recently. Went into Denver, held Denver to 103. Even the Kings at home only scored 110. I'm gonna go with the team total over. They shown me in the past few games that they can at least score. I'll go to Miami Heat team total over because again, that defense is looking horrible for the Dallas Mavericks right now.
Yeah, again, until I see that defense starting to improve, man, I can't bet on this team, and I think that's the right cause. Just taking the Miami Heat team total over in this game. Since the All Star break, like I mentioned, Dallas the worst defensive rated team. Their defensive rating is 126. The second worst team is the Wizards at 122.5. So they're almost three. They're about 3.5 points worse on the defensive rating metric than the Washington Wizards. So that kind of speaks volumes to me here. So yeah, I think Heat team total would be a good pivot here. And shockingly, the Heat have been actually playing at a faster pace than what we're used to seeing from this team. So keep that in mind here as well. Player props, what are you looking at?
Seeing the chat talking a little bit. It's my Adam said Jimmy 2+ steals. Jace asking about Butler 5.5 rebounds. He's been rebounding the ball recently 6, 3, 7, 4, 9, 11, 8, 4, 9 this month. So he's gotten over plenty of times in this month. So I like those plays. Those are good plays. Quote unquote should be a Bam day. Would hope that it would be a Bam day with the resistance that the Miami Heat are not the Miami Heat, but the Dallas Mavericks have outside inside the rim, inside the paint. Like he really should be able to dominate and get rebounds. But I'm not giving. I gave Rudy a chance. I'm not giving Rudy and Bam a chance in the same day. Absolutely not. No way. So you don't have to worry about me. And that maybe that's proof that Rudy's gonna miss and Bam's gonna hit, and maybe that's what you got to play. But it's no way I'm giving Rudy and Bam a chance on the first day. On one day, no way, no way. Let me see. What else do we like here? Maybe a Tim Hardaway Jr. threes type of day, especially if it goes over. And
Yeah.
it could be no Luca. If it's no Luca, it's 100% Tim Hardaway Jr. threes, some type of scoring prop. I kind of like it even if Luca plays, but
Let me see if is Dallas in a look ahead spot here. I know Lewis mentioned that the Heat play the Thunder tomorrow on
mhm.
Friday. But let me see if the Mavericks have anybody on deck.
Is it Lewis or is it Luis? I think it's Luis.
I'm probably saying it right. I'll go Luis just because his last name's Martinez. Um,
That could be a wrong assumption by me. I'm sorry if it is. Apologize.
um, Mavericks don't have a look ahead. They play the Pistons on Saturday, going to Detroit. It's gonna be a road game. So this is the last game of their little 3-game homestand here for the Dallas Mavericks. But I was looking at Bam's numbers, like you mentioned, that his rebounding number is at 10.5 here, and again, rightfully so. He's had at least 11 rebounds in, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 out of the last 8 games head to head against the Dallas Mavericks. So if you want to consider that as a rebounding prop, Jake also mentioning Jimmy Butler. I don't hate that. I think that he's going to be a matchup nightmare for this backcourt of the Dallas Mavericks. So if you want to look at Jimmy Butler points or PRA here today, I don't hate that look for Butler.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at a Jimmy Butler. I wouldn't be mad at a Jimmy Butler triple double look. I really wouldn't. Dallas can't defend nothing. So if Jimmy Butler got 10 assists in the third quarter, would you really be surprised? No. They can't rebound worth the shit neither. So if Jimmy Butler had 10 rebounds, would you be surprised? No. Like they can't defend worth for shit. So if Jimmy Butler got 10 points, would you be surprised? No. Like I think that Jimmy Butler triple double could be a nice little look day.
He did have 35 and 12 in a meeting last year, did Jimmy Butler. His double tonight's at plus 370. And if you want to get spicy, 30-1 for him to record a triple double here tonight for
yeah, man. I definitely played the double for sure. But I think the triple double's a little too. Yeah, let's play triple double too. So what'd you say that triple double price was? Where can I get that at?
Triple double's 30-1 on DraftKings.
I see it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I might have to get down. I'm gonna have to get down some Jimmy Butler today. I wouldn't be like, I mean, Dallas is just really bad right now. Luka gonna
Yeah, I mean,
request a
just the,
trade.
I mean,
So
we talked like
wait till Luka requests a trade. That's the issue.
he wants to
That's
go
the issue.
to
People,
Denver to play with his buddy.
hey man, I mean, why not? You'll win,
Yeah,
maybe, if Luka's
we'll
not the
see.
problem.
Anything else for this game?
It ain't gonna be no defense on that team. Luka and Jokic on the same. It's gonna be the same problems that it's gonna be the same issues we dealing with now. Nobody playing defense. All right. No,
All
I'm
right.
good. I'm good. I'm just talking.
No, you're good. All right, let's get over to the 205 people watching us. I don't know how many of those are bots, but we'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
yo, I heard that some of these people is bots.
Yeah,
Hey,
we'll see.
hey, shout out to the bots, man. Shout out to the bots for making our numbers look good. That's all I appreciate.
They're trying to learn from us, Terrell, and put it into their AI, their little algorithms to spit out their own little projections for games. So I think that's just what it is.
Oh, they
Next
using us.
game. Yep. Toronto Raptors. They are in Arizona to take on the Suns. Suns currently laying 10 here against the Raptors. Total of 232.5. Injured report for both of these teams. Let's start with the Raptors here. Oshai Abachi, questionable here with a left knee soreness. We know Scotty Barnes, Bruce Brown, Jakob Hurdle are all out for the Raptors. For the Phoenix Suns, no Devin Booker. He's going to miss about a week or so. Damian Lee continues to be out. Josh Okogie is out, and Nasir Little is out as well for the Phoenix Suns. Suns coming off a very impressive victory against the Denver Nuggets in their last game that did go to overtime. Raptors in the two games without Scotty Barnes thus far have been absolutely abysmal. I think it was the first game, I think, without him in the Pelicans game where they gave up 139 to the Pelicans. But nonetheless, they start a 4-game West Coast road trip here, starting with Phoenix here tonight. Phoenix is laying 10 here, Terrell. What are you thinking?
I think we might have hit the downturn with the Raptors here.
Yeah, I think so.
I know it's a large number, and I know that there's concerns about this Phoenix team, but you got to remember, Phoenix went into Toronto in a game that we were so certain that they were going to win, and it was a short number, and it was a little hints of stench there, but it was like, Phoenix should really get. And I think they had like lost the day before or something like that, or it was something before that game too. And Toronto went in there and buried them. The 7 point difference in Toronto really buried them. I don't think it was any thought that Phoenix was going to end up winning that game. So revenge spot with that on the mind. Add no Scotty Barnes. Add to this team, probably just trying to figure it out. What's the rotation is going to be? Who's going to be the person to step up? All of that. And meanwhile, this Suns team is kind of putting things together. They had a little rough patch splitting the back-to-back with Houston, losing to OKC, but they found it again with Denver in a really, really solid win against Denver. So back in the Valley, yeah, it's a large number, but I think I'll lay because I think this Suns team is rolling right now. Give me the Suns minus 10.5.
Yeah, again, this Raptors team, they're gonna enter that territory of where Dallas's defense is right now. Again, when you talk about whatever rim protection they did have with Jakob Hurtle, who's out, Scotty Barnes was probably their best defender left. Maybe you could put RJ Barrett in that conversation, but outside of that, this defense is going to be absolutely atrocious going down the stretch here for this Raptors team. So I think I do like the Suns team total over in this game. I think KD has a big night. I know Grayson Allen shot the cover off of the ball in the last game against the Denver Nuggets. But let's take a look for this Raptors team. They've had 6 straight games that have gone over their total. And if you just look at the amount of points that they're giving up in those spots as well, I think the Suns team total is the way I'm looking at this game. I'll lay the number here as well with the Phoenix Suns. Like you mentioned, I think they've found something here. I think they're starting to roll here, even without Devin Booker. But Bradley Beal being in the lineup, Kevin Durant doing Kevin Durant things, and some of the role players have also stepped up. We talked about Grayson Allen's of the world, and things like that. So Suns for me, Suns team total over. You have anything on the full game total or team totals here?
Yeah, I like that Suns team total overlook. Definitely like that. Player prop wise, somebody in the chat said it. Not even going to question it. Nurk over 12.5 rebounds minus 130. I mean, let's ladder Nurk up. We're gonna ladder Nurk up. Ride the escalator. He's gonna. This could be close to a 20 rebound game. I mean, I just don't know who's gonna provide any resistance at all. Kelly Olynyk.
I don't think so.
I'm rolling with Nurk here. Nurk over 12.5. Probably, I would like a play on his PRA too. I think that he'd be able to score. He does pretty all right assisting the ball as well. So, yeah, I would take Nurk PRA too, but I'm on the rebounds over 12.5. I'm not concerned about the large number.
Sorry, they played earlier this season, did the Suns and the Raptors. Nurk in that game had 19 points and 14 rebounds, last 4 head-to-head meetings. And obviously this goes back to his time with Portland, but 14 rebounds, 11 rebounds, 18 rebounds, and 14 rebounds. And, we talked about it earlier this week where you have 31 against the OKC Thunder, had 12 against the Denver Nuggets. He had 22 against the Lakers. So we know he's going to be out there on the floor. Maybe blowout is a concern here, but again, he had 12 rebounds within like the first 6-7 minutes in that game against the OKC Thunder. So, yeah, I like that call. Kevin Durant, maybe points and assists. I think he's going to be a matchup nightmare here for the Toronto Raptors. Did have 35 in that last game against the Denver Nuggets. I mean, we know the shot volume is going to be there for him as well, especially without Devin Booker in the lineup. So if you want to look at Kevin Durant points or even assists for Bradley Beal, he's had 6 assists in back-to-back games for the Phoenix Suns. So those are the couple that I was also looking at here. Anything else you have?
No, I'm good.
All right, next game on the board. Game of the night here. We got the Boston Celtics. They are in the Mile High City. They take on the Denver Nuggets. Currently, as it stands, the Denver Nuggets are a 1.5 point. Now it's down to a 0.5 point, so pretty much pick them. Hosting the Boston Celtics. Total sitting at 221 in this game. Looking at the injury report for the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown is officially questionable for this game. And that is pretty much it. Denver, clean injury report as well. So relatively healthy squads, only questionable tag here for the Boston Celtics going to be Jaylen Brown here. But Terrell, I'm not going to waste time here. We already know where Terrell's going as far as the Denver Nuggets here. But
you can actually start. You can start. You can start us off on this one.
Yeah, again, I think that when we're looking at the spot here for the Denver Nuggets coming off of the overtime game, I just don't see a world, or I see it difficult for them to lose back-to-back home games. And they haven't been able to cover the last 2 games, but again, they have won, I don't even know what this is, 9 of their last 11 at home. And this is a team that just doesn't lose back-to-back home games. And I would probably have to go back and look and when's the last time that happened. But at home this season, 24-6 straight up, 14-15-1 against the spread. Obviously, spread doesn't matter right now. Pretty much out of pick 'em here for this game between the Celtics and the Denver Nuggets. But it also goes back to the fact that when it comes down to the fourth quarter, which team do you trust the most? It's the Denver Nuggets for me. They have the better head coach. They have the better players that can close it out. If it is a close game in that fourth quarter. So I'm going to roll the Denver Nuggets here on the money line. I think Boston's getting a little too much respect here. I think Denver's getting a little disrespect here, being the defending champions. So give me the Denver Nuggets on the money line here, minus 112 right now, currently over on DraftKings.
Yep, I'm with you. I think that Denver's going to bounce back at home here. I think that the thought is, the crazy way the Celtics lost that game, that they're going to bounce back. But I just don't trust the Celtics in the fourth quarter of games to close out, especially if the game is close. And I think this Denver team, when you're looking at the Celtics on the other side of court, it's like, hey, this is a great test for us. This is an opportunity. Everybody's thinking it. This is potential finals matchup. You're sitting here and you're saying, all right, we only get to play this team 2 times out of the year. We were able to come back and get a win in in Boston. Can we do it again? Can we protect our home court and knock out a really good team? So yeah, I like the Denver Nuggets motivation to get up in this team, get up for this game in this team. You got Billy Baller talking about how Murray gets up for good teams, and first time playing Boston and Denver since 2019. So this could be a Murray get up game here. Nuggets money line at home since 2022 is 68-13. I didn't even realize that. Holy crap.
Yeah,
It's a
they've
lot
been
of
dominant
wins.
at home. Yeah.
Wait,
What are your thoughts on
yeah.
the total?
221. I think I kind of lean over. At least Nuggets team total over. I just feel like the Nuggets are going to put on a good performance at home today.
Yeah, the total is 19 and 11 towards the under in their home games. But again, like you mentioned, Denver's averaging 118 points per game at home. So right now, with probably be around what 110.5 for both teams on their team totals. Um, yeah, I mean, I just think that Aaron Gordon and Jokic are just going to have a lot of success inside the paint. I just don't think that they really
Mm-hmm.
have the bodies um, to really defend those two guys. And we know
Mm-hmm.
how efficient this offense is for the Denver Nuggets. Like they can get it done from any spot of the floor. And also for the Boston Celtics, I think they're very reliant on that 3-point shot. And if that shot's not going in, then they're going to be in a little bit of trouble in this game here. So yeah, I like your call about the Denver Nuggets team total over. I'll lean over to this game. I don't love it. But I think the Nuggets team total over is what I like better in this game. Um, Player props, Terrell, what are you looking at?
Yeah, you already know you start your centers against the Celtics, and so Jokic goes without saying. Jokic goes without saying. I'll drop the numbers, but first I want to talk about Aaron Gordon because you brought up a point and that's the reason why I'm on Aaron Gordon today. Over his points, 13.5 today. You look at his last few games against this Boston team. He had 2 points in that matchup earlier this year, but after that, 18, 17, 13, 17, he's been over it in three of the last five times he's played this team. We talk about the resistance inside the paint and how that's somewhere you can exploit this Boston Celtics team whenever teams want to take the opportunity to do that. So with Jokic, I think Jokic is going to be able to get, a lot of nice dimes and catch Aaron Gordon cut into the rim inside the post and be able to get and rack up the assists like that. So I think Jokic is going to have a good day. Assisting the ball, I think he's going to have a good day. Scoring as well. You look at his past three games against the Boston Celtics, 34, 30, 29. His points prop is at 25.5 today. Like, I think that we're in pretty good shape for him to go over that points prop. So on the over for the points prop for Jokic and Aaron Gordon, I like Jokic, PRA, any type of way that you can really take Jokic, whether it's PRA, whether it's, RA, whether it's just A, just B, just C, just D, like it don't matter. I think that Jokic is going to have a great day and he's going to be able to score.
Yeah, I want to see what his triple double is here tonight. Let's see. Plus
Probably
150
like plus.
for him to
I was
record a
just about
triple
to say
double.
plus 150. Dang, I was just about to say plus 150. I
Yeah,
would look like a genius. Yeah, nah, it's probably around, like you
yeah.
said, plus 150. So I think it's a pretty solid look. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a solid 150 today because he's had really good games against Boston in the past.
Yeah. Jake mentioning Aaron Gordon RNA to go over 8.5. Yeah, I think that's a great look as well. Um, um, Jamal Murray, guys mentioned it that he gets up against the good teams, but other than that, yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. You have anything else for this game?
No, I'm good. Might actually try to get a little same game parlay going for this one.
Yeah, I think that's definitely has some good same game parlay opportunities in this game for sure. All right, let's get over to the next game of the night. Two games left here. We got the Chicago Bulls. They are in the Bay Area to take on the Golden State Warriors. Warriors currently laying 7.5 in this game with a total of 223. Both teams are on a back-to-back situation here, so no injury report just yet for either one of these teams. Golden State took care of business last night against the Bucks, like we talked about. No starter in that game played more than think it was 31 minutes is what I last looked at here, but let me go back and double check. I know a lot of them didn't play in that fourth quarter. Bucks
Mhm.
scored a whole 9 points in that fourth quarter. Um, but Draymond 25, Kuminga 25, Wiggins played 14, Steph played 31, and Pajemski only played 26. And guys off the bench, nobody played more than 21 points. And they're still at home, so no travel situation for them. For a team like Chicago, who's traveling from altitude in Utah, now traveling to the Bay Area here. So 7.5 is the number here, Terrell, for the Warriors hosting the Chicago Bulls. What do you think?
Yeah, it's really. Do you think that this Warriors offense is going to be able to beat this Bulls defense? The Bulls been playing pretty solid defense in the past few games. I'm trying to figure out where I saw that number at, but pretty solid defense by the Bulls in the past few games, able to come back and get wins and really compete here. But it was something that didn't sit right with me with how they closed out that Jazz game. That I felt like that wasn't the energy that you wanted to carry over into that Warriors going into Chase Center trying to go out and get a dub. Like I just didn't think that was the energy that you wanted to counteract, and I think it's actually gonna. Um, Be to their downfall a little bit. This Warriors team is right back in their groove. They were able to get the Bucks out of there really quickly. That's kind of how the plan was for the night. Rest the starters, get ready for tomorrow. I like the Warriors here, and I think this could be a wire to wire win for the Warriors. Like I really don't even think this is going to be close. So I like the Warriors early. I like them at the end of the game as well.
Yeah, I love the Warriors here. Back to back situations this season. Warriors 9-4 straight up, 9-4 against the spread, 8-5 towards the over. They're averaging 122.3 points per game in that span. So again, the Bulls, like you mentioned, exerted probably a lot of energy in that game last night against the Utah Jazz to get the victory. And on back-to-back situations for the excuse me, the Bulls this season, not much there. 5-5 straight up, 5-5 against the spread. And if that second leg of a back to back is on the road, 2-4 straight up, 2-4 against the spread. So, yeah, give me all the Golden State Warriors in this game. Like you mentioned, could just be a wire to wire victory here tonight for
Mhm.
the Golden State Warriors. And again, being in that play in tournament bracket where you want to try to get as many wins as you can and possibly get your way out of it and not have to play those couple extra games. I think that's it's probably something on the minds for the Warriors here. So Bulls, I'll mention this as well. In non-conference games this season, they are 17-7 towards the over, firing at 70.8%. So I think Warriors team total is what I really do like in this game here as well. So Warriors Warriors team total over here. Terrell, you have anything on the total?
Uh, yeah. I like the over 223.5. Casey in the chat with this trend machine saying teams that play opponents who won or lost the previous game by 3 points. Yeah, won or lost by 3 points.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Are 33-10-3 this season. So basically, you got a team that's coming into your crib. Well, is it on the road? No, I don't say nothing about on the road.
Either
Basically,
or.
you playing a team that played a close game day before. They just played a close game. They just played a close game. Now they're playing you, and you take advantage of it. 33-10-3. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Warriors -7.5.
Yep. Love it. Adam asking, why is the line minus half on DK different than the money line? Can you tie in the current NBA? Absolutely not. I
No, we run
sometimes
overtime. We run overtime till it's done around here. I don't know about
yeah.
that.
How about that
Football,
tie life?
football that has ties. No, we run overtime till it's over. We got 10 overtimes, then we gonna have 10 overtimes.
Um, Player props. Draw anything you're looking at?
I would love somebody to send us to 10 overtimes. The score on that game.
200.
Let's see here. I think I want to roll back. Man, it's just like I don't know. It's something about I feel like I blindly say, "Hey, man, it's a center, a pretty good center going up against the Warriors. They should be able to get their rebounds prop." But I feel like a lot of times when I play it, it don't hit. Do you ever have that feeling?
Yeah, like some, a lot of times we talk about 1+1=2, but it ends up being like -2, and that it doesn't work out sometimes.
Because it should
It's
just
even tougher
like
when like
Vucevic and Drummond should
yeah,
really dominate on the glass today, like absolutely dominate. But it just feels like
yeah.
it doesn't always happen like that, at least with the Warriors.
I'd be curious to see if they start Drummond.
I'm gonna pivot.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
yeah.
I'm gonna go with my Kuminga play. I've been playing Kuminga rebounds
I also want
off
to
and
mention
on
this
pretty
here before we talk
recently.
about the player props.
Yeah.
Chicago, the worst 3-point defense since the All-Star break. They're allowing 17 makes per game, or close to 17 makes per game.
Oh, I mean, Kuminga had the big game yesterday. I guess that means it's Pajimski today. Over 1.5 plus 145.
Yeah. Yeah.
I quietly think that Pajimski and Kuminga are carrying this Warriors team. I don't think anybody's going to talk about it, but very, very quietly, I think that the contributions they've had this season is actually insane. Like for them playing this well over what's his name, over Cat,
Clay.
not Cat, over Clay, over
Yeah.
playing better than Clay, playing better than Wiggins. Like those two, they're really carrying this team.
Yeah, I agree. I think Kerr finally realized that when he made the lineup change. Like, I gotta get these young guys in the lineup because they're just playing better.
Well, I missed it. What was it?
No, I was just gonna say that I think Kerr finally realized that he had to play the young guys because they were just an upgrade of what he had.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Over Clay and Looney. So, player props.
I'm on Kuminga and
Anything else?
Pajimski today. That's my thing. I'm on Kuminga and Pajimski today. Probably Kuminga, maybe in the RA aspect, but if you're telling me that Pajimski's gonna have a bunch of open threes and I'm get 2 at plus 145, he's gonna hit 2.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you mentioned, his last game or last night against the Warriors, it was a down game for him. He did hit 2 in the game yesterday. He was 2 of 5, but now you have the worst 3-point defense coming into your building here. Every starter yesterday made at least 1 3-pointer. 4 of your 5 starters yesterday made at least 2 3-pointers. So, and then you have guys like Clay coming off of the bench. It could be a Clay 3-pointer game here tonight as well. Going up
That's what I was just about to say. Chris Paul has
Bulls.
really been setting up a lot of people. Chris Paul's been setting it up nice. So that could be an angle. Chris Paul assists along with the Clay threes, or maybe who else do we want to look at here? Like it could be a Clay threes, maybe like a Gary Payton or Moses Moody, like different. I like Chris Paul assist today. Let's just say that. I like Chris Paul assist today. When that number comes out, I'll play Chris Paul's assist for sure. Are you here? Did I lose Munaf or am I lost in the Matrix? Oh, shit. Oh, are you back?
I think
Who's lost? Somebody is in the Matrix. Which one of us has having issues?
I think it's both of us. Clay's, I don't see Clay's threes listed.
No, because he. So I was the one that was good. Munaf was the one that was broken.
Yeah, am I
Munaf,
back now?
Are you here? All right, I think you're back. I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Do you hear me?
Okay, yeah.
I hear you. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Hey man, somebody was in the Matrix. I don't know who it was, but somebody was gone, and I'm just like, oh man, we're both. They've said it.
The bots are on to us. That's the problem.
Yeah, man, it's the bots. It's got to be the bots. It's the freaking Russian bots that shut down the college experience. That's who it is.
I'm waiting for Clay threes. That number's not out yet. Obviously, for him coming off of the bench, you'll probably find that later in the day. But even like last night, Terrell, CP3 had 9 assists in 20 minutes.
Yeah, man.
So
I'm sold on Chris Paul assists. I don't think there's a night where I will never think that Chris Paul assists isn't a good play. because of the fact of how they're using him and they're having him come
Yeah.
off the bench and he's able to play with that second unit. And he really like Clay boosts him. Even if Clay doesn't have a great day, Clay could be good for 3 assists for Chris Paul, and that's about half his total, a quarter of his total. Like, yeah, I don't think there's a day that I could ever not play Chris Paul assists with this Warriors team.
Yeah. So I'll wait for the Clay threes to come out. Probably will be in the range of, I think, probably 3.5 plus money. But again, I think that you want to take a look at 3-point shooters in this game against this Chicago Bulls defense. Anything else you're looking at for this game for player props?
No, I'm good.
All right, last game on the board. We got the San Antonio Spurs. They are in Sacramento to take on the Kings here. Kings laying 11 points at home against the San Antonio Spurs with a total of 237. Looking at the injury report here for the San Antonio Spurs, Victor Wembanyama is out for this game. He is sitting with a right ankle sprain. Other than that, pretty clean injury report for the Spurs. Sacramento, like we mentioned, they did play yesterday in LA, so no injury report submitted for them just yet. So no Wemby tonight for the Spurs. Kings laying 11 with a total of 237 here. Terrell, what do you think?
I'm not laying 11 with the Kings. It was really nothing to talk about. Honestly, we could have did this game a lot sooner. We didn't have to end on this one because I didn't mean for it to be a quick handicap. We kind of feel like we buried the lead with talking about the Celtics and the and the Nuggets game, even talking about the Warriors, and then we're here talking about the Kings laying 11. Yeah, it's simple. I'm not laying 11 with the Kings. Give me the Spurs.
Yeah, Kings on back-to-back situations this season, 4-5 straight up, 3-6 against the spread. They're giving up 117.3 points per game to their opponents in those back-to-back situations here. And even without Wemby, I know we'll talk about player props here in a second, but yeah, give me the Spurs plus the 11. This is just too many points, even without Wembanyama on the floor for the
Is it because
San Antonio Spurs.
they beat the Lakers? Like, is that why?
And I also think it's because it's the Spurs without Wemby. Like, I think this number would be by like what, 9, 8 if Wemby was playing in this game. Probably 9 if Wemby was playing in this game. But it's because it's the Spurs. They're one of the worst teams in the league, and they don't play a lot of defense. But this is too many for the Kings. I saw a note. I was trying to find it that Mike Brown, since he took over as the head coach of the Kings, has been really bad in back-to-back games. Let me see if I can find that here. But
when did he take?
Let's get to the total. Anything on the total?
What year did he take over for the Kings? What was that?
It was the last year the Warriors won the title, right?
Last year, no.
The year after they won the title?
The year before that. So since 2022. So head coach since 2022. Since 2022, the Sacramento Kings are 11 and 13. 11 and 13 on back-to-backs since 2022.
Okay. It wasn't a back-to-back, no. So this is something I found on Twitter. So the Kings are under Mike Brown 6-19-1 against the spread at home when their previous game was on the road.
Oh.
And just this season, 2-9 against the spread in that span.
Casey has another trend bot too. Since 1995. Jesus Christ. I wasn't even born in 1995. That's the crazy thing. I was born in 96. Teams that score 130 plus points in the first game of a back-to-back and are on the road versus a sub 500 team for game 2 are 21-56 ATS in game 2. So basically, you went and you had a great day offensively in that first game of the back-to-back, scored 130 plus points. You probably won because it's hard to lose a game scoring 130 plus points. So you probably won that game. Then you go on the road against some scrubs and you get embarrassed because you disrespected them. Shout out to the Spurs, plus 11.
Yeah, but I think, he said he translated wrong because the Kings are back at home for this game. This says back-to-back and are on the road, but Kings are back at home. So he'll double check it for us. We'll see if we can get it. Meanwhile, we'll get into player props.
Hey man, let me know when that since 1995 stat comes back into play, because that's a good stat. I can't wait till that one comes back into play. 21-56 ATS. Jesus Christ.
That's pretty bad.
The
Second leg
money
of a
to be
back-to-back
made.
as well.
The money to be made.
Player props.
Man,
Player
can't nobody
props.
talk today. What's going on? Like, what's in the air? Can't
I
nobody
think we're
talk
ready
today
for the
on
weekend.
I can't believe we have a podcast and we can't talk. Like, I would not listen to us if it was me and I was I would not listen to us.
Hey, we have a
all
down
I'm
day
doing is
sometimes.
listening.
It's Thursday.
You can't even talk right. Can't even talk right. Munaf, you got a
Player
bunch of
props.
bots on your Twitter page too.
I have 104 people on my Twitter, which probably means like 2 people are watching, and it's probably 102 that are bots. You're probably all over your guy here tonight, Devin Vassell.
Oh, for sure. For sure. They don't have anybody that's gonna slow him down. What's the Vassell ladder pay? Let me see what that pays today.
So his 24 and a half is his points tonight.
Hey man, because they know people are now getting hip and they're already. And see, this is the part where Devin Vassell starts to, I wouldn't say fold, but I say they start to put his expectations so high that it's like, well, I mean, did you really think he was going to get that? It's because he's been playing so well and he's been stealing your money by cashing all of his points, props, overs, because he's one of the greatest players in the league that doesn't get respect for it. Shout out to Devin Vassell, man. I'm trying to tell people.
He did have
Get Devin
32 in the
Vassell some
last
help
game.
in San Antonio. Get Devin Vassell some help in San Antonio. Golly. He's got 32 and 29 in the last 2 games against this Kings team.
Yeah, they just played a couple weeks ago. 127-122 victory for the Kings at home.
He shot 72% in the game. 72%.
And that was with Wemby on the floor. So God knows what he does tonight. I would ladder this up if I were you. He's your guy.
And give me Keldon Johnson too. I think it's one of the two. One of the two have a really, really good day.
Yeah, it could be both. I mean, that Wemby in the lineup, right? I think that the amount of shots volume that Wemby takes up, it has to go somewhere. So Vassell, I would look at KJ Keldon Johnson near this game here as well. Trey Jones assist, maybe something that intrigues me in this game. So I'll look at that. And then I'll throw out one more. Domantas Sabonis has had a lot of success against the Spurs. Just his last 4 games. His points prop right now is at 20.5. I did already play the over 20.5 points, but last 4 games against the Spurs, 34, 26, 27, and 22 in that span. So give me Sabonis over 20.5 points here tonight against the Spurs. This might be another good SGP game.
Yeah, I like it.
You got anything else?
No, let's go.
All right, that was the last game on the schedule tonight. Let's get into our lock and dog for the Thursday night schedule here. Terrell, you want to lead us off?
All right. Let's see. How do we want to order this today? For my lock. Chicago just really started that Kings game off bad. I remember that. Golden State kind of been rolling too. I'm gonna go a little obscure because Golden State's been rolling. Give me a Golden State first quarter minus 2.5 here to get it done against Chicago Bulls. Just get me in quickly with the money. They've been really, really good off back-to-backs historically, and they're just good this season. Chicago's coming out of altitude, traveling to Golden State for this game after a win and what was at the end, a really close game against the Utah Jazz. I think Golden State just kind of outclasses them, outshoots them early on in the game. I talk about Podziemski. I think that his threes could be live today, so that could happen in the first quarter and give us that push. I like Golden State first quarter minus 2.5. I'll take that for the lock. And for my dog, it's Heat plus 155. Pretty much. It's Heat plus 155. Of course, we could throw like Jimmy double-double and a win in there. That's probably really juice because the double-double is at plus 370. But, Yeah, it's Heat. It's the Miami Heat. I'm not questioning it. The Heat play better defense. Not expecting any defense from the Dallas Mavericks. We'll see if Luka even plays for the Mavericks. If he does, I still like the Heat, so it doesn't even matter to me. Yeah, I'll take the Miami Heat plus 155 here today.
All right. All right, for my lock. I think it's going to be, give me the Timberwolves, man. Plus 1.5 here tonight against the Pacers. Pacers coming off of that 3-game road trip. Minnesota, again, we talk about getting up for that angle of injured player. I think that Minnesota comes into this game focused. I think they get the outright victory here as well, putting money on the money line as well. So I'll just take the money line here, Minnesota plus 102. For my dog, I think I was going to swing for the fences here tonight, Terrell. Give me the San Antonio Spurs, man. I think they get it done outright, plus 440. So I'm going to split a unit on the plus 11. I really love the plus 11. I was almost gonna lock that up on the Spurs, but I'm also gonna put on the money line as well. We've seen crazier things happen. Kings coming off of the big win against the Lakers last night. Spurs rest advantage here. I know no Wimby, but again, we've seen crazier things happen. So plus 11, plus 440 on the money line here as well. I'll split half a unit on each of those, plus 11 and plus 440 as my dog here tonight on the San Antonio Spurs. All right, so let's put together our underdog fantasy here for tonight. Again, go to underdogfantasy.com. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Get yourself involved. First deposit bonus, 100% deposit, I should say, up to $100 for new account users. If you already have one, get your friends involved, get your family involved. And come rock with us on Underdog Fantasy. All right, let's see here. Where do we want to start?
Oh,
We're gonna go Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, we can go Jimmy.
Got to throw your guy Devin Vassell in there as well.
Well, I like the Sabonis play. I like the Sabonis play a lot. I can't take away that the Spurs have nothing in the interior for Sabonis. So Sabonis 20.5, I think, has to be in there.
All right, so let's go Sabonis. I have to just use my phone for this part. All right, let's see here. So underdog. All right, Sabonis. So we go higher 20.5 on Sabonis here tonight. All right, what else are we looking at? Oh, it's at 21.5
Jimmy.
now. Perfect. Okay.
What's
you want to go like points, PRA?
We can go. I think RA. Sometimes Jimmy don't be trying to score because everybody else is scoring. And he just does all the other work. I feel like an RA play is a good play for Jimmy today.
11.5.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we should get that. What's that? 6 rebounds, 5 assists? Oh no, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Yeah.
6 and 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm by
Throw
that.
Jimmy in there.
Or I kind of like that. Somebody said Jimmy steals. I kind of like Jimmy steals too.
I think. Let's see if they have it. Yeah, they have 1.5 steals. You want to do steals instead?
I wish I had a coin.
They have blocks and steals at 2.
Is it spicy?
No.
Ah, boo.
The half a block is spicy at 1.25.
So it's just at 2 for steals and blocks. So we would need I prefer the 1.5 steals. No, I would prefer the 1.5 steals. We do that. We're talking too much. Just go with RA. Let's just go with RA.
All right, so we'll go 11.5 RA for Jimmy Butler here tonight. We got Sabonis in there, higher 21.5 points. And you will throw
and then I was gonna say Gorton or Jokic.
Let's see.
Let's go Jokic.
Find that game. Jokic. You want to go triple double, or you want to just go points?
Ooh, triple doubles is gonna be spicy.
Triple double is spicy.
Yeah, let's go with spicy.
All right. All right, so there it is. I forgot to add some bonus in here. All right, so we'll go with that. I like it. So we'll go Domantas Sabonis, higher 21.5 points. We're going to go Jimmy Butler, higher 11.5 rebounds and assists. And then we're going to go Nikola Jokic, higher on his triple-double. That's spicy at 1.25. That gets you to 7.5. So every $10 you put in, you'll get a return of $75, courtesy of Underdog Fantasy. Again, underdogfantasy.com. Make sure you guys use that promo code NBASGPN. Get yourselves involved with us. And then if you have already have an account using our promo code, get your friends involved, get your family involved, get your coworkers, whoever doesn't have Underdog Fantasy, and if you are in a legal state and of legal age. All right, man, that's going to wrap it up, Terrell, man. Anything else we want to mention before we get out of here?
Hey, man, just reminding people, Monday, I just locked in another guest, Munaf. Gotta tell you when we get off air. Just locked in another guest. So we're going, hey, I'm bringing out some heavy hitters for Monday, man. I need a whole bunch of bets. And I'm not just trying to play my bets. I'm trying to play everybody bets. I got a bunch of bonus bets that I got to get through. So we'll see how much we up. But Monday is the day. Big show for Monday. Hope everybody tune in.
There we go.
Even you bots. Appreciate you
bots. I don't know how many bots there are, but there's a lot of bots right now. You bots come. It's happening with us on Monday, the official launch in North Carolina for legalized sports betting. So we're gonna have a lot of fun.
If you're not a
lot
bot,
of bets.
If you're not a bot in the X live stream, just drop a message in the chat. If you're not a bot, drop a I don't know, a let it ride in the chat or something like that. I don't know. Just drop something if you're not a bot.
Say I am not a robot, or
say I am not a bot. Say
Terrell's the greatest NBA handicapper. Say something. Just leave a comment for us.
Say
just,
anything.
Do that.
Say
when
anything.
We end though. Don't do it right now.
Just prove that to us that you're not bots, because we've been having this debate back and forth for the entire day of yesterday. Oh, holy crap, we think these are bots. And nobody's still saying anything. These guys are bots, man. They're bots. Oh, man. I thought we had new listeners. They're bots.
I'm seeing a lot of new faces coming in though.
We definitely got some new. We definitely got some new faces.
Yeah, 100%. So appreciate everybody in the chat that's not a bot. You guys make the show really entertaining, so it's a lot of fun interacting with the chat as well. So appreciate everybody. We'll be back tomorrow for the NBA Gambling Podcast, same time, same place. And like Terrell said, Monday is going to be the big day. We'll have a lot of guests on. We'll throw out a lot of bets. If you're in North Carolina as well, it's your day. It's the day. It's going to be a big day. So it's going to be a lot of fun on the Monday episode as well. But again, we'll be here tomorrow as well for the NBA Gambling Podcast, same place, same time. Make sure you follow Terrell on Instagram and on Twitter at @reallyrail__. Follow me there at SportsNerd824. More importantly, make sure you guys subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast if you haven't already on YouTube, and give us a follow on X as well at SGP and NBA. All right, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Good luck with your bets here tonight. Let's break these books off and let it ride.